Hello, yes, and welcome back to another edition of the Rams Riot podcast with me, your host Simon. Remember, this is the podcast from the fan for the fans. Like I say, for the fans, look at all these questions and comments that you guys have given me to go out through today's show. So, today's show then we'll be covering Mason Bennett and Tom Lawrence, and obviously their court appeal. Their court appearance. We'll go Charlton, preview Charlton game. We like look at lineups. I ran a couple of polls as well on Twitter. We'll have a look at them, and also your question and answers. Like I say, I have got absolute loads. Thank you guys. This is down to you guys. I started this podcast because there's a lot of podcasts out there for Derby County, which is great. You got Steve Bloomer pod. Absolutely brilliant. You got Derby County Fan TV. Absolutely, I love them guys. Pete and Ben, absolutely brilliant with the videos and the blogs of the game. Fantastic. Absolutely, they do a great job. For me though, I wanted to do a podcast that got you guys involved. So this is why I always say, get your comments, your questions. I will give you a shout out on the show. Because I want you guys to get involved. I want to know your opinions as well, so I can discuss them on here. So thank you very much. I will do as well. Another shout out. Again, I have got a Facebook page, Facebook. So just go Facebook and search for Rams Writer. There's a page there, and I'll put all my videos and podcasts and my articles and stuff like that on there. So go over there, follow. Also, YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm up to 52 subscribers. Thanks, guys, for those of you who subscribe. Those who don't, make sure you do. No, I'm joking. Subscribe if you want. It's great. So, where do we start? I wonder. Like I said the other day, So, 15th of October, Tom Lawrence, Mason Bennett appeared in court and were charged with drink driving and leaving the scene of an accident. They both received 12-month community order, which consists of 108 hours community service, plus a 2-year driving ban and £175 in surcharges. Yes. if you got that. So they've had their sentence now. They've had a 2-year ban, 2-year driving ban, 108 hours community service, unpaid work, plus all the unpaid work they've got to do for the club. So they're going to be working a heck of a lot of unpaid hours at the moment. And they also obviously got fined 6 weeks' wages. So they have been punished. I know if I got fined 6 weeks' wages for my job, then I had to work over 200 hours, I guess, free of charge, I would, it would be hard. Plus, not being able to drive for 2 years. Again, be hard work. Very hard work. So, they have been punished now. So that leads me on to what happens now. So I put a poll across Twitter, across Facebook, just to sort of get your thoughts on, I think it was, I basically put, so now they've had a court punishment, are they okay to come back and decide, in your opinion? And the main poll I looked at was on the Facebook group Derby County for Real Fans, and that's got quite a few votes on there. Go over there, but up to now it's got about, I think it's about 700 votes or something like that. 71% of you agree, they should be they can be back in the squad now. So 71 against 19. No, that's wrong. 71 against 29. Sorry, my bad maths. So a lot of you are ready now to say, okay, come back into the team. The majority of you, let's say, obviously, we get 28,000 fans, and it would be tough. I know that I think the Derby Even Telegraph ran a similar poll, and I think the votes were more of you said yes than no. So a lot of us are there to, we're there to back them. I'm going to back them. I did a video, I did a podcast. I said what I thought about it all, the whole situation. Did I say too much? Perhaps I was a bit angry at the time. Maybe I should have assessed the situation, I guess, beforehand, before ranting. But hey ho, it's done now. But in my eyes, that they've had their punishment. They've made a mistake. It was wrong. And we heard in court as well. How Mason Bennett said he felt a bit peer pressured into drinking. I get that. I do get that. Surely you've been out with the lads or the ladies or whatever. You've been out with a team or something like that. I know we used to get, especially I used to play rugby. Yes, I was an egg chaser. If your opinion goes down, whatever, I don't care. I used to chase eggs. It was great. I used to love it. Played football and I played rugby. Saturday football, rugby Sunday. Multi-skilled, mate. That's what I was. But there was drinking involved in rugby, and you felt like you had to have a drink, and at times it was hard not to crack under the peer pressure and say no, I'm not having a drink. So I understand where it's coming from. Again, I'm not condoning it. It was wrong. He knows that. We all know that. And then Tom Lawrence is. It was quite sad to hear, actually, to be honest, about Tom Lawrence. Because he's struggling with the passing of his mum. He is struggling. It's very sad. What is he, 25? You don't expect to lose your parents at that age. So it is. It's a very sad situation. Unfortunately for Tom, alcohol has been his way of coping by the sounds of things. And that, again, it's very sad to hear. But sometimes, I guess, in life, it takes a major event to help change your life. So with that, obviously, he's had this mistake. Hopefully, he can he can get help or continue to get help, because we don't know where he's at the moment. We don't know where his head is at. There's a lot of things that go off behind closed doors that the fans know nothing about. Okay, and we've got to accept that. That's football. It's the same with any club, I suppose. There's a lot of things that we don't know about. Case in point, you go onto Rams TV. I've got a podcast. The first episode was Owen Bradley and Shane Nicholson. Great insider to Nicholson's life that people wouldn't have known anything about. That was a really heartwarming podcast. So there is a lot of stuff that goes on that we don't know about, and hopefully, I'm guessing now. I'm assuming now that the Derby as a club, they'll get the right help in for Tom. I'm not saying they're not giving him help already, but they'll probably give him extra help, extra support, because the guy needs it, And so this goes on basically, Paul Watson, how would you go ahead reintegrating Tom Lawrence and Mason Bennett whilst keeping the fans who are thirsty for blood happy? Well, the majority of the fans are fine with him coming back into the team, Paul. So, Cocker said before he needs to be on that pitch. On that pitch, he feels free. On that pitch, there's no thinking about his demons. There's no thinking about his mum, God rest her soul. There's none of that. On that football pitch, he is free. And I think that's what Cocker's got to do. It's a tough one. It really is. Unless you're in that situation, you've got to, you don't know how you're going to handle it or how you'd feel best handling it. He must have spoken to Tom and said, Tom, what's the best way we can help you? I need to be on that pitch, boss. I need to be playing. I don't know. Like I'm saying, this is speculating. I don't know. And I do feel sad for Tom. For anybody that lost a parent, regardless of what age you are, it's one of the worst things in the world. I've not lost a parent. I've still got both my parents, but I have lost family members that I was really close to, that I felt were like parents, or like a parent to me. And it killed me. It absolutely broke me. I didn't hit the bottle. No, I didn't hit the bottle when they died, but I had my moments of doing stupid stuff. Grief affects people differently, and we just need to understand that. And I get these people that won't forgive him, think they score him, etc. And I get that. That's I've seen people go, oh, well, I've had this, this drunk driver, I've lost my mum, I've not done. Yeah, I know, I get that as well. We all know this, but grief affects people very differently. So hopefully now Tom gets the support he needs. Hopefully we can give him support on the pitch, because let's face it, Tom Lawrence scored against Luton. He did all right as well against Luton, to be honest. He had a steady game, did the basics right, and he was close with a couple of chances against Luton. Then obviously he scored the absolute, it was an unbelievable goal. Yes, it was a fluke, but it was, it's gone in, it's a goal, and it's helped win us the game. Mason Bennett, on the other hand, he's played for the under-23s. Played against Wolves the other week. Man of the match for me. Absolutely. I don't know if you watched it. I don't know if I watched the game, and it was prominent in everything that Derby did attacking wise. He scored a goal himself. Could have had a couple more maybe, but it was brilliant, and that's great. That's what you want to see. You want to see Mason, and I don't know if the gaffer spoke to him and said, look, Mason, I'm going to put you on 23s, get some minutes on your belt, get yourself fit, prove to me you can be good enough to get back in that first team. I don't know if he said that, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. But that's showing you, Mason was showing us what he can do, but that's what he's got to do on a pitch. You know, like I said, sometimes a really bad event like this, you can, you can spin it and go, well, actually, okay, these guys were underperforming before this event. There's this future. What if they turn around now, and we see the player that we know Tom Lawrence can be. We see a different player to Mason Bennett. All the good stuff he did last season, we see it more consistently. Because you might get that because their attitudes changed, because it's had to, because of what they've done. You don't know. You don't know. So, like I said though, I'm not mentioning this anymore. It is done. We need to let it go. It's over with now. We can't keep going over and over and over this now, because it's just no need to. The courts have had their say. The club have had their say. Both players have apologised. I know some people are saying, what about Richard Keogh? He's not said anything, but let's think about it. I think it was Derby and Telegraph reported that he'd snapped his MCL and his ACL in his knee, so he's got to have the MCL repaired first, and then he's got to wait for that to heal, then he's got the ACL repaired. So yeah, that's why the injury's so long. He's recovering in a hospital at the moment. I'm not expecting to hear anything from him yet. I'm sure at some point when he's fit and better, he will say something. But until then, we've got to just get past it. Keogh has obviously been a mainstay in our team now for the past 6 years, 7 years, and now he's not here. At some point, this was going to happen anyway, probably earlier than he would have liked. So it's happened now though. So we've got to adapt. We've got Captain Curtis in his place. I wrote an article. I was wrong about Curtis Davis. I'm glad I was wrong. So yeah, and we just move on, and that's what we're going to do now. International break is over. It's Charlton away. It is Charlton away. Hit the Valley tomorrow, Saturday. So Charlton, looking at they were a bit of an outsider coming into the league, I suppose. Coming up, obviously promoted last season from League One under Lee Bowyer in the playoffs. So I'm just gonna get their form up because last time I did this I forgot. They've not had they started off pretty alright, and now they've had a bit of, slip of form. They're probably only, good win they've had over the last couple of games was against Leeds. Again, that's at the Valley. So, home-wise this season then, they're a mixed bag. They really are a mixed bag, to be honest. Wins, losses, lost against Swansea, lost against Birmingham, but beat Leeds, beat Brentford, drew against Forest, and beat Stoke. So, we don't know what team's going to come, but I am actually going to hand this over. Well, I'm not going to hand it over. That page there, sorry guys, you're on my podcast. You guys on YouTube, that is an A4 piece of paper with all them comments. That is by one person. That is by Tyler Toft. He has got a YouTube channel as well. Search it. This is basically everything I was going to talk about. So you've pretty much done my podcast for me, mate. So yeah, cheers for that. But I will go through it. So Tyler asks, his first question is obviously your thoughts on Lawrence and Bennett from their punishment. I've just gone over that. I'm not going to go over it again. Like I said, done with now. We've got the punishments. We move on, crack on. We play football. This is what it's about. So I don't know if you know, but Charlton manager Lee Bowyer has been on a 3-match touchline ban. That's terrific. We all know that a team. Your manager is constantly on the touchline or wherever, and he's giving you instructions, giving you, decisions to make. He's not there. Lee Bowyer's done a great job at Charlton. He was. We know what sort of player he was. He's tenacious, horrible player. Always demanding the best, and that's he's he weren't scared to get stuck in. And this is what it's like with his team. We might be a bit lucky tomorrow, because I think Lyle Taylor, who's obviously been a good player, good scorer for them, top scorer for them, is out tomorrow. think. I know he was injured before the international break, whether he's back yet, I'm not seeing if he's back. But I think Temur Hemed and... there's another... It's on the tip of my tongue. There's another blooming player. I think he played... he's a Premier League player as well. He was a Premier League player. Let me have a look. Hold on. That's it. Kyle as well. I think both of them are back, but I think, yeah, like I say, two good players there, two good experienced players. Again, another one, another team, I look at the likes of young Conor Gallagher as well in that team. Another good player, another good threat. But, like I say, they've got no Lee Bowyer at the touchline. So that could work to our advantage, because it's going to be, obviously he's going to have his coaching staff on the side telling him what to do, but not having your manager at the touchline is like not having your dad when you're a kid and you're playing football. That's the way I see it sometimes. My dad used to manage me. My dad knew nothing about being a goalkeeper, bless him, but he knew more than I did apparently. So whatever. Thanks, Dad. But no, you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying, though, don't you? Your parents are always there to encourage you. That's what your manager's there. Your manager's there to encourage you, to give you decisions to make decisions on the pitch tactically. So, when things aren't going right, they're the ones that say, right, we need to switch, do this, do that, and do this. So, again, it's going to be tough for Charlton. We can make it tough. We're in a good run of form ourselves, 5 games unbeaten. Can we get an away win, though? We've not won away since Huddersfield away, so first game of the season. So we can win away. We do like to draw away. We need to get picks from wins now, because obviously we drew away against Leeds, we drew away against Barnsley the last 2 away games. We lost against Brentford. So we need to start picking up points on the road. And Charlton's are, I know they're doing well. They're all right. They're not in a bad position in the table, but we've got to go. We've got to start getting some wins, especially away from home. We've had 2 home wins on the bounce now. Charlton are what? They're only 3 points ahead of us. So they're there for the taking. We know, as a newly promoted team, they always, a lot of them seem to have that stage of going. They either go off like a train, or they start poor, or they get, if they start poor, and then they can pick up. But Charlton, for me, started off like a train. I think they were 3rd at one point. But they have started to obviously settle into Championship life now, and then they're finding out, the Championship's hard league. We know that. We're experienced in Championship. So hopefully we can go there and obviously get 3 points. To take advantage of Lee Bowyer not being there. Next question is, which Charlton players could be a threat to us? So obviously, like I said, Lau Taylor for me would have been one of them, but I don't know. I don't think he's available. Again, Conor Gallagher looks a good player in midfield. Young Conor Gallagher, and obviously Temur Hemed, and even Ertzuma as well. He was a good player in League One. He's a tricky guy. Again, you've got players like Jake Forster Kasky as well. Another guy. He played in the Premier League, so they have got some good players. You can. We've seen as Derby, you can have good players, but you're not necessarily a good team. So you can be a good team on paper, but not, not necessarily a good team on the pitch. We've seen that ourselves. We had some decent players under the likes of Clement, but it didn't work out that way. So again, they've got some threats in there. Like I said, I think young Conor Gallagher, for me, if Lau Taylor's not playing, we've got to keep him quiet. We really have. Curtis Davies has got to, he's got to do a number on him. He's got to use his experience. Keep Lau Taylor quiet, you keep the goals away, and obviously set pieces. We know we've got to start defending them better. So yeah. Obviously, international break is done, so fresh start. What has to change going forward? What do you need to do to get all 3 points against Charlton? Thank you, Tyler. So yeah, international break is done. All 3 points. We've just got to go there, and we've got to play like we have in parts against Birmingham, in parts against Luton, in parts against Barnsley. We've got to scrap. When you play teams like Charlton, teams like Barnsley, teams that are coming from League One, they've come from a league that, it gets underestimated a lot. But it's a tough league, and they scrap and they fight. They want to win every game. And that's what the Championship's like as well. So we've got to be on our game. We can't expect this to be a walkover because it won't be. No game is. We've got to defend set pieces, crosses, corners. I know. Kaku said he will be working on that during the international break. I hope he has. I'm sure he has, because we're so vulnerable. It's unreal. It's getting to the point now where you're thinking, here we go, could be a goal here because it's a set piece or a long throw. So we've got to start commanding our box. And I touched on this the other day on a post on Facebook. I think Steve Nicholson, he said, he put an article up by, is it Ruse or Hamer? I'm not going to go to the whole debate. That's for another show, I think. Could talk phrases on that. But basically, I picked Ruse. The defending set pieces is not always keeper's fault. People said against Barnsley, he could have come out for that. No, the ball's 8 yards out. It's been whipped in. Okay, look at that again. You've got two defenders in Davis and Bielik, both jumping and got out jumped by, I think, I can't remember, whoever scored the Barnsley goal. Was it Chaplin? I can't remember. But he's been out jumped by both of them. It wasn't Chaplin, it was Harm. That was it. They've been out jumped, and there's nothing Ruse can do. There's no way he's coming out for that ball. You command your 6 yard area. That ball was outside the 6 yard area. Yes, he has got to do more. He has got to come out. If he's going to punch, he's got to punch it big, like he did against Birmingham and before our third goal. Punched it clear there. But he's got to also catch, and he's got to. He has got a confidence issue in catching. But hopefully again, international break, hopefully worked on that. So yeah, I'm going off track here, but yeah. So to get the win, we've got to use the likes of Chris Martin. We've got to get runners in. Whether it's Patterson, whether it's Holmes, Shinnie, Bielik, we've got to get men, and I think if we can get the ball to Martin, get runners in and around him, get him off him, I think we'll be a threat. I don't think the Charles defence will be able to handle us, to be honest, because as an attacking force, even if Waghorn, I don't think Marriott's not going to be available. According to Cochrane, his press conference, it's touch and go, I think, on Marriott. So we've got to get men forward, and we've got to get men in the box. I think recently we've been a bit too passive, really, sort of, passive defensive. You're not getting enough men forward at times. I know we have scored more in the last 5 games than we have recently, but I'd like to see us push. I'd like to see us get more numbers in the box. I think, because we're getting balls wide. We're either going wide, or if we're going through the centre, that's great. We're going to Martin. He's dropping deep, getting the midfield around him. So now it's just we've got to get numbers forward, I feel, even if you get your two wing backs forward and you leave Davis and your other centre back, Clark or whoever, and Bielik a bit deeper, we've got men forward then. And I don't think they're able to cope with that, because they won't sit back and defend, surely not at home. It's not like when teams come to Pride Park and they like to sit in and get all men in. They'll look to attack us, and so, if we can get on the counter-attack and get numbers in the counter-attack, I think we'll get an easy 3 points. Look at both teams' forms going into this game and how both sides go into this game. Obviously, Charlton coming up from League One this year. What? That don't make sense, mate. I'm not sure about it. I've already looked at the forms going into this game. They've had a couple of wins, a couple of draws. I'll go over the last games if you want. Like I say, I know we've had obviously 2 wins and 3 draws. So looking back at our last, we'll go from the last international break then, I think. So obviously, like I said, 2 wins, 2 draws, and that's okay. Well, no, we'll go from the 13th. We're against Cardiff, 5 games. So last 5 games, then Derby have had 3 draws, 2 wins. I'll say 5 undefeated now. Charlton on the other end, 3 losses, 1 win and a draw. It's not the best form, but we know how an international break can change things. So it's not going to be an easy game. It's really not. Like I say, Derby at the Valley, I think they won 3 years ago now. Johnny Russell won it from a corner, of all things. We scored from a corner, yes. But before that, we've got draws. Then we got a 2-0 win, 2015. I'm about now. I want to look at the Valley. We're not bad at them at home at Pride Park. So yeah, at the Valley then, we've won the last game, lost the game before that 3-2. I think that was a cup game. I'm pretty sure that was a cup game. Pretty sure it was. I'm sure it was a cup game. I've got it in my head it was a cup game. I could be wrong. No, it wasn't. It was the Championship. We lost 3-2, 2014. I was at work actually. I was listening to it on the radio on my headphones. I can remember going nuts when Jamie Ward got the equaliser. But then 2013 before that 1-2-0, and then draws with a draw there. So yeah, it's not like I say. It's not a ground we've dominated. It's not a ground they've dominated us. But like I say, any game you can win and you can lose and you can draw any game in the Championship. So Charlton came up this season and are looking quite good. And they took a good few results at home. Leeds especially, we have to be up for this. Yes, we do. I mentioned that. I said before, they are looking all right. I think the form at the start of the season, it was better than it is now, to be honest. Like I said, I think the Championship's catching up with us. Apart from that win against Leeds. I think the thing is that we saw against Leeds ourselves, they battered us. Leeds battered us at obviously at Ellen Road. For 70, 80 minutes. But they couldn't put the ball in the net. And it's the same again with Charlton. They couldn't put the ball in the net. They battered Charlton for 90 minutes. 90 minutes, and I think it was a late winner from Charlton. I think it was an own goal or something like that. It was a soft goal, I remember that. No, I'm lying. It wasn't. That was a different game. But whatever. Charlton won. They beat Leeds, but it is. But like I said, they did well against Fulham, not going to lie. Fulham, again, another team that you feel are going to be challenging this year. They do look good, but obviously there's still defensive weaknesses. But Charlton took the lead at, that was at Craven Cottage. They took the lead twice and blew it twice. So they do lead goals, but they can score goals. Again, just like I say, I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going for a derby win, but I'm going for something like a 2-1 win perhaps. I just feel it's going to be a tight game, very tight. Obviously, we were linked with their manager before Cocky. Maybe discuss that. Yeah, we were linked, but I don't think there was nothing hard in it, to be honest. Like, we were linked with 1,000 managers. We always are. I don't need to really discuss that, to be honest. I don't think barely anybody in the fan base wanted Lee Bodie to come to Derby be a manager. Obviously, I know because he had issues here where he wanted to pay him more at Charlton, so he terminated or he didn't renew his contract, and then all of a sudden, renew his contract. So whether Derby approached him, I don't know. I don't think it would have been a good move for the club if they did. So I don't know what's wrong with that. And then finally, set pieces was an issue before the internationals, obviously where most goals conceded came from. How can we change this in the Charlton game? Well, that's something we've had to work on in training, surely. Cocky has had to have worked on that in training with the lads. So it's what it is. It's a defensive thing. Set pieces is something. It's a defensive unit. It's about your back four and your goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper is always the last line of defence. It's not always up to the keeper to come claim crosses. And you got to look at Shay Given. Shay Given was never one for bossing his area, despite what people think. He wasn't. He's about 6 foot tall. He was small for a goalkeeper. He was a good shot stopper, which we can see in Ruse. Very good shot stopper. So for me, he's got to just we've got to, Davis and whoever's the other centre back has got to boss that penalty area. 6-yard area, that's Ruse's all day. And if Ruse is there with an opportunity to catch, he has got to catch it. If you're looking at, say if we're 2-1 up, for example, and we've got 3 minutes left or something daft like that, they've got a corner, come out and it comes in, come out, catch that ball, relieve the pressure. Lie on the floor with it in your arms, just relieve that pressure. That's all you need to do. So yeah, it's got to be something we've got to have worked on in training. I'd like us to score more as well. It's a mindset thing. I've said this before. It's a mindset thing. You've got to want to head that ball clear. Just as if you've got to want to head that ball more, attacking wise to score. So it's just a mindset thing. So thank you for that, Tyler. Yeah, I don't really know what more I can say. I think we've pretty much covered everything regarding the Charlton game. So one thing we haven't covered is the lineups. So I put my lineups on Twitter and on Facebook. just to see what you guys thought. So I went with similar to what we went with against Luton. So Roos in goal, but I've gone with low left back, and I'm going Davis and Clark in as centre backs. I've gone then obviously Bogle, who is back. I know there was a few scares over the international break with Bogle and Bielik, but both of them are fit. Should be fit enough to play on Saturday. So yeah, Bogle at right back. Your two holders, again, if we're playing with this 4-2-3-1, again, it can shift into a 4-3-3 with Shinnie getting more forward, but it's going to be Bielik and Shinnie as the two holders. I've then got Lawrence on the left, I've gone Patson in the middle and Holmes on the right and Martin up top. That's my 11 I've gone with. Some of you agree with me, some of you haven't. So I'm going to go through some of your comments now, and what you've said basically. So Harry Morgan, Facebook. So I'm going to go through Facebook first. So Harry Morgan's gone Hamer in goal, Patson wide, Holmes central. So similar, but obviously he's brought in Hamer instead of Roos. Okay. Rob Smart's obviously agreed. He's agreed with me, but we'll change to Hamer. And then I'm not quite sure who's written this, but I've got one here. Roos in goal, Lowe, Clark, Davis, Bowie back four, Bielik and Holmes in midfield. Right, okay. Yeah, so he's got Bielik as like a central defensive midfielder. He's then got Holmes just ahead of him, Patson on the left, Wagon on the right, Marriott up top, Martin just behind Marriott. That would, okay, but Marriott won't be fit, so, but it's not bad. It's a good shout. I like that. It's not bad. Martin Cluley, Hamer, Bogle, Davis, Bielik, Lowe, Shinnie, Holmes, Patson, Wagon, Martin and Lawrence. So Wagon then basically has come into that one. So he's gone 4-3-3. So he's put Bielik at centre back instead of Clark. Okay. Shinnie is your holder, Holmes and Patson your two midfielders, and you three at top, Martin, Wagon, Lawrence. Lee Cresswell, Roos out, Hamer in. Howard Boss, similar but with Patson out wide and Lawrence central working around Martin. I felt like that is wasted out wide. That's a great shout, I do think we see the best of Tom when he's in a more central role. But we need wingers, we ain't really got them. Derek Bell, has Marriott got... I'm not even going to read that out. Swap Holmes with... Okay, I will read it out, sorry. Has Marriott really got an injury or are we being told lies by the management? No, he's got an injury. He's got a groin strain. This isn't Lampard. Again, we're listening to rumours. We don't know. Everyone gets, he's caught in the golf club, he's ill. When he was ill. You don't know that. There's obviously a reason why Lampard left him out, but that's his decision. We all thought he should have played, but let's be straight here. He did have a purple patch and then he faded off and didn't score for a while. So we know what Lampard was like. If he didn't perform, he didn't get his spot. He chopped and changed all the time. But he's currently injured. Ian Hayes, swap Holmes with Patson or Lawrence with Patson? Alright, okay, so you'd have Holmes in the middle or Lawrence in the middle. That's a great shout. Neil Turner, what about Jack? Injured. David Needham, I'd go with your selection. Thank you, David. Joe Allen, don't you play for Stoke? Swap Lawrence or Waggy in my opinion, so you want me to drop Lawrence, put Wagon in. Okay. Jamie Rowland, Marriott injured again. Tom Smith, this time is what I would have. Yozozu nowhere near the team for me. Okay. Rob Clark, yes, agreed. When Wayne's here, swap him for Patterson. Again, yeah, that's January. This is just for Uncharted's game, but no, yeah. That is going to be an interesting talking point. Where does Wayne Rooney fit in? Barbara Freestone, swap Lawrence for Marriott. I would Barbara, but Marriott's injured. Lynn Dawson, keep Lawrence on the bench. Okay. Looks a solid team, that Dave Holroyd. Lee, wait, I'll go with yours as well. Thank you, Lee. Chris Cheatham looks good on paper. Carl Eppington, Melody. No Marriott or Waghorn, far too good to leave out. Again, it was a tough choice with Waghorn. I just think... I don't know if him and Martin are too much of a similar player. It might work, It's a good shout though, but you've got to look at it though. You've either got Holmes coming off the bench or you've got Waghorn coming off the bench. Both two good players, two decent players that can cause a good threat. I just thought Holmes has looked good with his pace. And he's just looking like he's improving every game. Sean Carpenter, 2 negative at home. Sorry, Sean, but we're Ryan Burton's said to him, yeah, we're away Saturday. Lee Creswell, out with Roos, in with Hamer. Ray D. Safety Dudley, what about Waghorn? Tom Byrne would swap Holmes and Patterson around, but otherwise agree. Andy Buckley Taylor, Waggy has to start for me. Chris Anton, strange I nobody ever puts Yozozu on any of these lines, unlike that Dutch bloke on Saturday. Yes, but if you listen to... There's obviously a reason why I was picking him. Again, it's another... I might actually do a podcast actually on the Roos and Haim debate and the Yozozu, because I could talk about that for quite a bit, and I will actually do that. Stuart Williams, a change of shape here, I like it. Hamer, Bogle, Clark, Davis, Lowe. Holmes, Bielik, Shinnie Patterson, Marriott and Martin. Best system for players we have, better balanced as well. 4-4-2. Huh? Nice, I like it. Again, we could. Again, I think it's a great shout. And then, Daniel McDougall, I think Manchester's still going to fitness. Hard to leave Martin out when he scored. It is hard to leave him out. James Hall on Facebook, great lineup. George Stevenson, room for Lawrence but not for Marriott. Again, we've gone over this. Jake Barker, because Lawrence plays out wide and Marriott can only play up front. That's like saying there's room for Curtis Davis. Well, just okay, I get your point. Matthew Maidment, I'd have Marriott and Waghorn instead of Lawrence and Holmes. And then Jake Keegan, I'd have that defence and CDMs, but I would rather Patterson on the left with either Marriott or Waghorn for Lawrence. Again, someone don't want Lawrence in the team, okay? Jordan Cook, still play Marriott out wide. Really? He can't play Marriott out wide, he's not a winger. Dave Griffiths, Marriott in front of Lawrence all day. Brian Clark, Waghorn and Marriott instead of Lawrence and Patterson. Again, Marriott not available. Nick Murray, Marriott can't play out wide. He's an old-fashioned poacher but needs a strike partner. He's a waste of time and he's up front. Agree. He does need someone to play off. Definitely. So he could, like I say, he could play with Martin. Definitely can play with Martin. I think he'd suit it. I don't get why now. We had Vidra, and again, a number 10, needed to play off a striker, and it just didn't happen for him when he first came here under Pearson and then McLaren. McLaren could see he wasn't someone that could play up top on his own. Gary Rowett, on the other hand, saw he could play with Nugent, scored, but he was top goal scorer, wasn't he? So again, Marriott does need someone I agree with play up front with him. Basil Parker, Malone for Lowe over time, Patterson for Holmes and Marriott behind Martin. Philip Brandon, why is Marriott Dyer hardly played for ages? What's going on? He's got a groin strain, Philip. Sam Sanson, Shinnie is left footed to maybe switch a Bielik. I just banged him in, mate. I weren't going left or right foot, but I see your point. That's fine, mate. Mark Wilson, with what's available, it's pretty decent. And Stephen Williams, where is Marriott? Last one. Pete Cousins, Waghorn and Marriott, but you've not told me for who. Jim Donnelly, given that Marriott is not fit yet, I think this is a good lineup. Time will tell. Ian Cluro, looks good except I'd swap Heyman for Roos. Waghorn and Marriott shortly. That is from Simon Headley. And to be honest, looking at this is still Facebook. Yeah, another team I've been. Paul Smith says Malone for Lowe. And then Neil Turner, what about Jack? David Needham, I got your selection. Swat Lawrence, I give my opinion. I've read that one. Sorry guys, I'm repeating myself. Moving on to Twitter then. Nav Sidhu, you've got the team spot on for me in their positions. Wouldn't be surprised if Flojo starts ahead of Lawrence on left wing. Tony Lefranchi, what a name, I like that, Tony. Agree with this lineup, except I'd swap Lawrence for Hornwag. I like Hornwag. I like that, mate. That is generally what I put, I'm not lying. Stephen 387284453, that's a nice lineup, thank you. Andrew Down on Twitter. 433, Roos, Boggle, I like it. Clark, Davis and Lowe, Bielik, Shinnie, Holmes, Waggy, Martin and Patterson. Okay. Again, I'd like us to see a switch to a 4-3-3, go a bit more attacking. And Bad Ram, DCFC, he came with a good point. Unfortunately, I think he'll drop Bielik back into CB if there's any doubts over his fitness. And is it me, whenever he plays, he seems to have a calf strapped up as he nurses an ongoing injury? He does have his calf. He has, I think, is it kinesiology tape? So it's like a tape that it helps with relieve pressure and swelling and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't see him putting him back into centre back when we haven't got Huddleston. Mike Brody on Twitter, not a bad shout. Might have Waghorn instead of Lawrence. Okay. Five Guys. Go follow them. Five Guys. Bogle, Davis, Clark, Lowe, Shinnie, Bielik, Patterson, Lawrence, Martin. I can't remember. You've not put a goalie, but I have obviously followed you on Twitter and I've seen you're not the biggest fan of Roos, so I'm taking you put Hamer. And David Correa Martins. Can't really make any changes to your predicted 11. Looks spot on to me. Ryan Sharp, swap Holmes and Pato. So you obviously want Pato in the out wide and Holmes in the middle. Okay. How can you not play Waghorn? Best player for me so far this season, in my opinion. That's great. Again, like I say, maybe it's just an opinion, but no, okay. I just feel Holmes can be a bit more of a threat of his pace. You've got, and his final ball. He needs to work on his finishing, granted. But you've got, like I say, you've got to look at this way. You can either have Holmes come off the bench or Waghorn. So either way, you're in, it's a win-win in my situation. Waghorn for Lawrence going to change our make to that if Marriott's still not fit. And then Ben, Jimin, JJ03, Ruse, reluctantly, in brackets. Wisdom, Davis, Bogle, Shinnie Bielik, Pato, Waggy, Lawrence and Martin. 4-2-3-1, Waggy just behind Martin. Okay, so you've moved Waggy more central. Okay, I like it. Is Lawrence going to be played given that... Oh, Richard Swindles. Is Lawrence going to play given the alcohol issues? His head must be everywhere. Best to get his head straight and come back. Raring to go. So, as I've discussed with Lawrence... I think this is the best way for him is just to get back playing again. Coco's aware of it. Before the court case, and he still picked him. So, I saw your reply on Twitter. Obviously, he said, "I don't doubt Coco one bit. Sure, if he thought that I was affected, he'd have sent him home. Tom Lawrence is good when he turns up. Hope he comes good. Don't like seeing wasted talent." Exactly. We don't, and that's what's frustrating about Tom because we know he's a top player. But obviously this has affected him. So I hope this can help him move forward and move on, and be that player that we know he can be. So just to get on the teams then, Pat Udell, yeah, it sounds good to me. That's my team. Was on about Range. Wisdom for Clark. Wow, I like it. But mixing it up a bit, like it a lot. I'll go back to that in a minute. So Jack Brown then. Seems to fancy Malone at the moment, left back, and in fairness, he's not done a lot wrong to get dropped. And then he's also really like that as a front three, but Waggy must get in ahead. So, thank you guys for that. That was obviously, I know there was a lot there. A lot of you guys did comment then on that team. So no, I really, really, really do appreciate that, guys. I was absolutely blown away of how many of you guys commented on that. Like I said, I've got so many bits of paper that I've written on and whatnot. I think I've even lost some. There were some questions on Twitter. I'll see if I can find them. I will read them out. So that was my team. That was my team. So obviously you guys have let me know your thoughts. A lot of you want Waghorn in. I will go back to Rands what he said about Wisdom and Clark. Wisdom is now back fit. I do feel, yes, he can play centre-back, and I think it will suit him better than right-back. We saw under Rowett, he wasn't the same right-back that we saw under McLaren, making forward runs, etc. But the guy's a beast. And I think him and Davis as centre-back pairing could work. So that's a great shout, Range. But he needs to get his fitness first. He needs to get some match fitness. But we've seen him do it with Bielik, where he's put Bielik in centre-back to get some minutes under his belt. So could it be possible that, Wisdom goes back to centre-back? I think he said in an interview he prefers playing centre-back. But he's got a bit of pace as well. So I think, again, we saw last season with Kieran Tomori. Tomori had a lot of pace, Jesus. But I think, having Wisdom in there as well could well help. It really could. So that's a great shout, Range. I'd be interested to see him do that, in fairness. It's an absolute top shout, that is. So I will go into your questions. I'll start off on Twitter. Anthony Clark says, time to draw a line of the whole situation now and move forward as a collective fan base. Need to get behind Roos, Malone, Flojo, etc., as well as Lawrence and Bennett. Cocu puts his faith in them, they need our support. Great, absolutely fantastic shout, Anthony Clark. Give me a high five. Absolutely love that. Love the positivity, mate. You're damn right. We do need to get behind these players. We don't need to give ironic cheers when Roos catches a ball. We don't need to give ironic cheers when Flojo puts a ball in and finds the back, finds someone's head. We need to get behind these guys. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Derby County did a little video. They asked a few players a couple of questions. Who's the grumpiest and who's got the worst dress and who's the most skillful was one of them, and every single player said Yosuzunes. So he's obviously a decent player. He's just not got the confidence to do it on a pitch. Because if he does, then we'll go, oh, he's rubbish, and give him stick. So, but again, it's a two-way street because he can't just be us not. At the end of the day, it's what you do as a fan, isn't it? I try not to. Sometimes it does take a lot for me to go, but I've seen other people that go like that instantly. As soon as one mistake's made, bang, that's it, straight on the back. But that's football, that's people, that's the way we are, that's who we are. We've all got different personalities, but no, really like that comment there, Anthony. Yes, we do need to get behind them. Will McKenzie wants to know: is there a Derby County sort of supporters group in America? Anybody know? If you know, comment on when I post this up on Twitter or whatever. Comment to me and let me know if there is. Because if not, he wants to start one. Apparently there must be quite a few fans in America. The guy wants to collect shirts as well. So if you know of anybody selling any shirts, match-worn shirts, whatever, go and message WMcKenzie71 on Twitter. He'll really appreciate it. My guy, Philip Cocu's Kieran Stokes. Do you think Tom should take a break from football to get his head straight? Obviously an odd thing to speculate about as his escape may be on the pitch. However, from the court case, it seems to be an alcohol problem at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah. We don't know what's going off behind the scenes, what help he's getting. Shaw is obviously talking to someone or getting some sort of help, some rehabilitation of some sort. He says he wants to carry on playing. If that helps him, that helps him, And if it helps him, he's not being a hindrance to the team, then yeah, we've got to let him carry on playing. Because obviously, dropping it, if he was playing badly and wasn't contributing, which he has been in the last couple of games, I'm not, beforehand, yeah, Huddersfield, he was 90 minutes of genius from Tom Lawrence. But since then, we've failed to see that. So we need to see that Tom Lawrence again. And he's, we're seeing it in a lot, in more consistently. Like I say, he just needs to get back doing the basics right. Do the basics right, get involved, get track back, happy days. Score some goals. So no, I wouldn't drop him at the moment. If it came to a point where he really was, bringing us down and making mistakes, costing us games, then yeah, let's say, right, come on Tom, we need to take a break. But not now, no. Again, Kieran, more football-related opinion on the mass Cocu out hysteria, especially considering we're only 2 points worse off than last season, under Lord Lampard, even though the club has imploded recently. Also, what's your choice of beer when we get promoted under Cocu? I know, I get what you're saying, yeah, there has been a lot of Cocu out. No, he's a different manager to Lampard. He's a lot calmer, a lot cooler. He's not as in your face as Lampard. Well, not in your face, but he's not as jumpy as Lampard was. But like Kieran says, we're 2 points. You're only 2 points worse off. We've lost less games. I did have the stats for this. I should have kept it. We've lost less games. We've won less as well, but we've drawn more. Under Lampard, we didn't draw. We threw it and we lost. Under Cocu, we seem to be managing draws. So, one, that could be, we're not finishing games. If you look at Barnsley, there you go, case in point. We beat Barnsley. We are, we're exactly where we were under Lampard. So, Them penalty misses that we had were well ahead of where we were under Lampard. So it swings and roundabouts. There should be no Cocu out, hysteria at the moment at all. Give the guy a break. Seriously. We had a poor pre-season. New manager coming in right at the start. It's going to take time. And he's got to adapt the players to the way he wants to play. He probably hasn't brought in many players that he would necessarily want to do because obviously you can't do transfers that late. So there's a list as well that he had of players, and he's not probably got the players top of the list. He brought in. I don't think he was part of the Kieran Dow. I don't think that was his choice. It may have been, may not have been, but he's not lived up to what we expected him to live up to. So there's a lot of different things. You look at Lampard out. You got to look at the players that have left. Mount, Tomori, Wilson, all gone. Key figures in Lampard. I look at Nugent, Joe Ledley. He was, for the first half of the season in the team. Bryson, Johnson. Now Keogh, he's out, obviously. Massive losses, big losses, So he's lost a lot of players that we had last season. Yet we're still only 2 points worse off. So, not all doom and gloom, is it really? And what's my choice of beer when we get promoted? I don't drink. So I won't be having a beer. I don't know what I'll be having. I don't drink. I might be weird to some people. I don't drink. I've not had a problem with drinking, or anything like that. I used to have. I've just never been a big drinker, So my family brought up. My family were never big drinkers. Maybe on a Saturday night, something like that. But I've got 2 young kids at the moment, so I just, I don't risk getting drunk just in case something happens to them. So I'll have to stick to a Coke, maybe. I might treat myself. You never know. I might have a shandy. I'll have a shandy. If I do have a beer, though, it's going to have to be a Peroni, I think. It's my Italian blood in me. That's what it is. And then finally, Bernard Paulson, Footy Bernard. A lot of people might know this guy on Twitter. He's a bit of an, pessimist when it comes to Derby County. But I will answer your comment, mate. His comment was, what kind of hair product do you use? Well, as you can see, mate, I am totally bald. If you want to get this bold look with a nice, shiny head, here's what I do, mate. I can go in the bath, get my head nice and wet, right? Then I get some Audi sensitive skin foam, put it on my head. I then have Gillette Fusion 5 razors and I shave. Done all that, doing my face as well, and then after that, a bit of Nivea for men, boom, slosh it on, or jobs are good un. That's it, mate. I don't care, I've said to you, I'm open to attack, I guess, saying, I'll read every comment out, and I do. There's my proof. Even if it's stuff like that, I'll read it out. But you feel fine to try and humiliate people, it's fine, Bernard, don't worry about it. But hey ho. The last comment then from Twitter is Mark Coote. I feel Bennett should move on. Oh, I feel Bennett should move on, not because of the incident, but because his career has stagnated at Derby. He would do much better somewhere else. Lawrence needs help. He's a broken man. I know. Drinking problems. Drinking problems after death of his mother will not go away without help and support. No, you're quite right, mate, Mark. The thing about Lawrence, I'll go to Lawrence. I've spoken about Lawrence, but Bennett should move away. Okay. The problem with Bennett is he's been here since he was 15. He's been here 8 years, 9 years, something like that. He's been here a long time, and it's only recently he's been getting in around the first team. And I think that's the problem. When you come in as a 15-year-old. You saw it with look at likes of Wayne Rooney, Michael Owen, all making their debuts, 16, 17, 18, all being first team regulars. Look at Chelsea now, look at likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's getting to the first team. Phil Foden, another one, Man City, starting to get appearances now. Mason Bennett's 23. Not made many appearances. Most of his appearances have come off the bench. He's been plagued with injuries, he's been sent out on loan after loan after loan, yet he's still here. So the managers must fancy him. They must see something in him. He does possess speed, strength. but it's the finer points that need tweaking. And I think Koku sees him as a project. Probably sees him as this guy, right? He needs to sort of kick on from here. But obviously, he got offered a new contract this season, didn't he? So he's here for another good couple of years. But I get what you're saying about his career possibly stagnating. Maybe it does need refreshing. I think, like I say, I think maybe it's comfortable here. But again, you don't know the situation, the drink situation that we've had. It could change him. It really could, but we don't know. We've got polls. We all have a good Twitter poll. So I've got a couple that I put on Twitter. First one was, saw an article on Facebook, sportsanalog.com, about 3 reasons why Derby should sign Matai Vydra in January. So my poll was, should we try and get Vydra back in January? And this is a ridiculous split. 51% of you said yes, 49% of you said no. I'm going with no. Don't need him. We've got Rooney coming in January. Your comment sort of suggested that. Do we need him? Again, he's a similar sort of player to Marriott. Needs service. So, again, no. To me, we don't need to sign Vydra in January at all. So, yeah, no thanks for participating in that, guys. And lastly, we finish with how many points do you think we can pick up from our next 5 games? Games are Charlton, Wigan, Hull, Borough and Forest. So I said 0 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 15. 8% said 0 to 6, 9 to 15, 43%. And the winner was 6 to 9 with 49%. So half you guys, or just about half you guys, thought we'd get probably about 6 to 9 points. Ain't a bad shout, really. I think we can get between 9 and 15. I reckon we can get wins against Charlton tomorrow, Wigan, Hull and Forest. Well, actually, I reckon we get 15. We get 3 wins out of that easily, definitely. Forest is going to be a tough game, not going to lie, but I reckon we can do it. We owe them one now, big style, especially from the cup game. So we owe them. We owe them. So that's it, guys. I'm spent. That was incredible. All your contributions, guys, makes this show. Thank you so much for that. Everyone that's contributed. I was going to obviously try and tag everyone in it, but it's going to be a bit hard. So, you listen, you'll hear your name. It's there. I promise. So, again, guys, you're unreal. So, rallying cry then. 3 points tomorrow is a must. We've got to work hard. We've got to track back. We've got to tackle. We've got to defend set pieces. We've got to get Martin involved. Get the likes of Holmes, Patterson, Shinnie involved. We've got to boss it over the pitch. They will come at us and attack. So we've got to look to counter-attack and counter-attack fast with numbers. And we should win. Easy game tomorrow. Fingers crossed. It's never easy. We know it ain't. So yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your contributions. Absolutely unreal. You guys are amazing. I've been the Rams writer. This has been my show. And it's been incredible. I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy it. But, I will see you next time, guys. Come on, Derby!